Hello, right, welcome to part 6 of DJing with Ableton Live. So in this one, we're just going to have a quick look at the different ways we can launch our clips, which obviously would, in a DJing scenario, would be well, it could be our songs, or it could be some effects or some drum loops as well, so it doesn't necessarily just need to be songs. At the moment, I've just got one audio track in. I've got a few of my tracks in here just to illustrate the point, and then obviously it's up to you to take it away and do whatever you want with it. So first thing we've got to do is make sure that down here we can see the launch clip module, which is the little L down here. So if we click on that, we get the launch mode thing within all of these here. So the default launch mode is trigger. Okay, so this basically means that when you trigger it, it plays, and if we trigger it again by pressing another button, it will restart from the beginning. We can't stop the clip unless we hit a stop button. So I've got these clips at the moment mapped to, let's just get rid of some of this because we don't need to see that. That's better. Normally I would probably do this off push or some other controller, but I'm just doing this off my computer keyboard. So I've mapped these to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 buttons on my computer keyboard. So if just to show you that, the mapping there, you can see all I've done is I've clicked on there and I've hit 1 and it's mapped to that. So when I press the 1 button now on my keyboard, it's going to launch that. Okay, so we're in trigger mode. So if I press that number 1 again, okay, it starts it from the beginning. Okay, let's try a different track. Okay, so if they're on 6, if I press that again, sorry, wrong button. Okay, if I press it again, you can see down here, it jumps, let's zoom right in. Okay, jumps back to the beginning every time I relaunch it. And I can only stop the clip by hitting a stop button. Okay, so that's trigger. So that's your default setting. So we've got a couple of other different ways of kind of starting and stopping our loops. So let's go back to this top one. So we're looking at this section here, the launch mode. So the next one down is gate. So what will happen with this, the clip will only play for as long as we press down our button to launch it, which in my case is the number 1 button on my computer keyboard. That might be a pad on Ableton Push or a pad on some other controller. So if I press my finger down on the button that's going to launch it, which is number 1, okay, it's going to start it. And then when I take my finger off, it stops. And now it's going to start and stop based on the global quantization up here. So if that's on none, it's going to start immediately and stop immediately. All right, if it's on 4 bars, okay, once it starts, it's going to then take 4 bars to stop. Okay, now what I would generally do with these is I normally leave my global quantization on 1 bar. You also have the option down here to set the launch quantization for each individual clip as well. Okay, so at the moment that clip is following global. So let's say I want that clip to be on none. All I would do is choose none there. Then if I change this up here, it's not going to affect this clip. So at the moment, okay, it's going to start and stop. So I would, for a gate one, I would generally have that on, probably on none, because it gives you that instant start stop. So that would be great if you just wanted like a little drum loop that you want to kind of keep putting over, or some sort of effect, something like that. So that's gate mode. So let's do a different clip and we'll do a different launch mode on this one. We then have toggle mode, which basically when you press the button it will launch it, and then when you press the button again, the same button again, it will stop it. So if I press number 2, it's going to start that clip again, based it's on global quantization here. If I press number 2 again, it's going to stop it. Okay, so again, let's set that one. I'll set it for none for now. Okay, it's down to personal preference how you want to set it, depending on how you're going to launch your songs. And then press the button again, it's going to stop it instantly. Obviously, you're going to want some sort of quantization for getting your tracks lined up for DJing, but it's down to personal preference. Let's stick with this clip. The next one then, and the final option, is repeat mode. So what will happen with this is this will repeat the clip depending on what the global quantization is set to. So for example, if it's set to 1 bar, it will keep repeating 1 bar from when you hold the button down. So let's see what happens. Sorry. Now, the reason that didn't work is because my quantization was set off here. Right, got to be set to global. Okay, so hopefully you can see down here, the clip is looping back to beat 1 each time. You can get some quite interesting effects. Now, I'm not sure if we can set that in here as well. Yeah, so it can be either, it doesn't have to just be the global quantize, it can have its own quantization setting here. So you can actually get some quite interesting effects by changing this. Okay, you can get it like really glitchy. And so all I'm doing is holding down my finger on the key and it's going to repeat that section. Okay, so remember you can set each clip to have its own quantization setting. So again, very useful for effects, putting in one-shot samples and effects over tracks. So let's. Well, I was going to try something here. Just bear with me a second. I'm just going to set something up. I'll just pause the video. Okay, so what I've just set up is what I thought I'd do is just show you kind of I don't know, a quick example of how you could use this to put some like drum fills and stuff over the top. So I've just quickly warped these 2 tracks. So I've got this one on repeat. So this might just be a drum loop, but I mean, obviously it's a full track. And I've got it set to 16th on quantization down here. Okay, so what we could do is let's get that one playing. Now if we start this next one, we can just like and kind of keep just repeating it until we want it to start. Okay, wherever we want to do it. So just one very, very simple example of what you could do with that. Obviously, it's just down to your imagination, really. Like I say, you could do that with one-shot samples. So one-shot samples. So you could bring a few in. So you can actually, obviously, if you've got like a load of samples that you want to change in one go, so you can select the top one and the bottom one. Then you could set the launch mode for all of the selected ones. So if we want to set all of these to repeat, that will set all of those in one go, which is quite a useful way of changing a load of samples in one go. So yeah, basically it's down to you then. I give you the tools and you make the awesome mixes and so on with it. So yeah, hopefully that's of some use just on your different ways you can launch your clips. Generally, I would probably have songs on toggle mode, so I just press the same button to turn them on and off, and then effects and everything else I would do with repeat mode or gate mode, depending on what I was playing. But yeah, hopefully that makes some sort of sense to you and is of some use for your DJ mixers. And thanks for watching. Usual sort of things, please subscribe, like the video, share it around. If you've got any questions or comments, stick them in the box below. If you've got any suggestions as well for any future videos, whether it's music production, synthesizers, DJing, or anything, I'll see what I can do. And if you like my music, acid electronic-y kind of stuff, then go on, please check me out on iTunes, Spotify, and all those kind of places. Okay, thanks for watching. I will see you in part 7. Cheers.